You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Mama was born in Stearns, Kentucky.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 16 of the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. I am Jeremiah Morrill, your host. The first voice you heard was the lovely Audrey Jo Peavy, soon-to-be Potter. Welcome, Audrey Jo.
Hi.
You're here with...
soon-to-be Potter.
No, oh God, I did. Man, I'm struggling. Yes, this is the announcement that the girls are running away together, Dakota, and they're leaving us.
And Audrey's taking Sarah's last name.
And they're both going to hyphenate.
Okay.
Sorry, it's been a day. So Dakota, Davis, and myself are here with his lovely fiance, my lady friend, Sarah, Elizabeth Jo Potter Peavy, is off doing whatever she's doing this evening. The Boss Hog Liberty cast is here at 3/4 strength. The We Are Libertarians network is recording 2 shows at one time tonight over in the south side of Indianapolis at the main studio. Tad Talks is co-showing with We Are Libertarians, and I guess we can use this as our teaser.
Yeah.
Next week's show, it's going to be
spoiler alert.
Dakota,
where we're going to be next week.
Dakota, Jeremiah, and if Tanner's still alive, he's been in and out of the hospital this week.
Just lost his job.
We don't know that. Did that happen for sure?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said. He got fired today.
He wasn't. Yeah, he was.
He's had a rough go.
It's been a rough week. May have lost his job, and he spent a night in the hospital. So welcome everybody to We Are Libertarians satellite show, Boss Hog of Liberty, episode 16. We're here. Been an interesting week for me. I've accidentally purchased a table. I got Zach Lee's childhood table here. We're broadcasting from my dining room. It's not a living room anymore. I don't have 3 living rooms. I've just have the 2 and a dining room. I don't know if this is the way it's supposed to be or if I'm giving up, Dakota.
Just making way for his family.
Yeah, he's starting preparing for the future family.
Now,
we were
at 34, I probably should.
We were talking about that earlier. I was thinking, like, where am I going to sleep at the pool party? I usually try to sleep in the chair that was in here. There
were 2 chairs in here.
I'm going to have to sleep on the dining room table.
There's other options. That chair still exists. I moved it to my bedroom, so you can snooze in there.
It's your
if you
nighttime
need to.
reading chair.
It's my nighttime reading chair, or where I throw the pants from yesterday that aren't quite dirty enough to need washed. Do you have a spot for those, or do you just constantly run water?
No, I just leave them in the bathroom so I can put them on the next day.
Or he just takes Tanner's pants and wears them for weeks.
I never did such a thing.
Yeah, poor Tanner has had a rough week. Potentially lost the Brisket Wireless gig. Had some time in the hospital with appendicitis that turned into pancreas. We didn't sign an FMLA form, so I think we can talk about this openly and freely. And then I guess this is the admission by your bride-to-be that you stole some pants.
I stole his pants.
I don't remember what happened or why you were here.
We were here.
Oh, we were swimming. Yeah, and you. This is Audrey. What happened? What did he do? He brought only his swim trunks, right?
Yes, I told him that he needed to grab some underwear before he left the house, and he refused. He said he'd be fine, and then he swam for a few hours, and then decided that he was not fine, and he needed dry clothes.
So I, being a size 42, went upstairs and found some drawstring pajama pants, and he tried them on, and that was unsuccessful, to say the least.
Unsuccessful.
So Dakota
Very
being a 31
bad.
slim, it didn't work, and but we did find that Tanner had left some zip short pant things that that Dakota has taken and incorporated into the wardrobe. So now
the Transformer pants that were made popular in the 90s, where they are hybrid. They're actually really nice. They were actually really comfortable.
Yeah, so the next day when we went puppy hunting and did the fence building, I believe you were still wearing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to wear them to go out puppy hunting. And then I was like, well, if I want these people to take me seriously when I ask to play for a puppy, I better take them off.
Well, we're going to have to take a picture today, speaking of taking people seriously. Dakota has had a full beard for the entire existence of the show, and you've got a little test coming up at work, so they make you shave your beard.
Yep, but once a year, I have to start fresh for a respirator fit test, because apparently respirators don't seal very well around beards. So they make us shave them, and you're allowed to have a mustache as long as it doesn't go past the corners of your mouth. So I decided I was going to keep my mustache.
I did notice, Dakota and I went to dinner last night to prepare for the show, and Audrey was nice enough to join us so that we didn't feel too gay. And and I looked at him, and Dakota has like a pencil-thin mustache. And I did notice that. I didn't mention it last night, but I was like,
yeah.
He's got this very thin mustache. And then you made the decision this morning or this evening that you're just going to keep...
Well, I don't have a lot, like some people have like big upper lips.
Right.
I have like no room between my upper lip and my nose, so it's just naturally a very thin.
It's very thin and wispy, and it looks like you look like a 1920s. You can do some things with that and be either like a real young Walt Disney or a Charles. Who is the guy? There was a pinup guy you were talking about, the boxer.
Yeah,
fellow.
The meme.
Yeah, or. There's Charles Lindbergh.
Charles Lindbergh?
Yeah,
okay.
Lindbergh or Clark Gable. All those guys
Clark
had those.
Gable.
Yeah, 100 years ago or 75 years ago, they all had those pencil thin mustaches.
We're bringing it back.
You are.
Grow out your mustache.
I can. Yeah, I've done it before. I've done the No Shave November thing before, but it's.
You brought it back whenever you were trying to look like Ken Bone.
I did. I did have a mustache for Ken Bone last fall. I forgot that I did that. That was an interesting time. So that trip was the trip that we went to Evansville with Rex Bell's campaign.
Yeah. And
we took Rex and Susan's Chevy Tahoe. And today at lunch, speaking of impulse decisions, last week we were picking on my brother, and we were talking about the difference between Dakota and I, where you bought a fence and it's been sitting in your yard for 6 weeks. My brother gets the idea he's going to buy a car, and 3 days later he has a Nissan. I had mentioned offhand to Rex and Susan, hey, if you're ever going to get rid of this Tahoe that we drove down to Evansville, let me know. And Susan texts me today while I'm sitting at lunch, and by 5 o'clock I had worked it out that I was buying their Chevy. So that's the once again.
Now both of us have vehicles to sell.
That's right. Yeah. So this is time to trade here at the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. Dakota, what you got? You've got a
2014
Chevy Sonic SS Gray.
SS?
It's basically the SS edition now. You've pimped it out, right?
No, it's the LTZ edition.
It's the LTZ.
Yeah.
All right.
That LTZ is a step higher.
Yeah.
So we'll go with that. But anyway, it's a beautiful vehicle.
It's pretty pristine. I rode in it down in Evansville for the LP convention. We hung out.
It's a luxury vehicle.
It's so you're asking what's the price, mileage, all that good stuff.
The asking price is $9,000, and it's been months, so I'm at the point where you just pay off the amount that I owe on it, and you could take it. Honestly, I'm like Jeremiah had to talk me out of going to CarMax last weekend to try to just get him to pay off the loan.
Yeah, I was gonna beat the living crap out of you if you did that. I was gonna play Big Brother and not let you make a terrible decision.
I'm tired of it sitting out in front of my house, and I have to drive it like once a week so that the tires don't get flat.
Right.
And I'm just tired of it just sitting there.
All right. So Dakota's got a 14 Chevy Sonic.
It's got 50,000 miles on it.
50,000 original miles, one owner. It's got WeatherTech floor mats. It's really actually a very nice vehicle. Never been hit. No hail damage. It's ready to go. And then I have, since I'm buying this Tahoe, I have the Bittner Mobile, the 2003 GMC Sierra SLT, the Slutty Edition, with leather seats, Bluetooth stereo, all that stuff, 4-wheel drive, extended cab, 6.5 foot bed, 5.3 liter V8 available. And if somebody wrote me a check or gave me cash for $6,500 or somewhere in that ballpark, we'd probably let it go tomorrow. I can't sell it for what the bank owes on it because the bank doesn't owe. I have the title, so
Right.
I can't make that deal. We're not giving her away. I'd maybe give Dakota a better deal.
You'd give me a better deal?
I'd give you a better deal.
If Audrey tells me she's pregnant in the next month.
So, yeah. Well,
So disappointing.
if Audrey... Because, you're going to need the car seat space of an extended cab pickup.
Right.
It is a 4-door. I mean, it's a nice truck. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
It's got typical Chevy rust on it, but it's got a warranty. It's been debitnered by the folks over at Riley and Son, and it's got a transferable warranty for all the work they did. Brand new fender, brand new front bumper, totally unbitnered. Brand new tires last year. I mean, it's been my evening and weekend car.
Well, my car has brand new tires this spring.
There you go.
So
Perfect. Actually, I have one brand new tire post-Bittner, so I've got one tire that's only got about 800 miles on it.
there we go.
So yeah, time to trade is over. If you want in on one of these vehicles, hit us up.
What do I have sitting in front of me here, Jeremiah?
So last time we teased that Dakota and I were going to check purity, and we were going to do an ancestry test from Ancestry DNA. I bought one, and you brought two. So you brought your bride. So is this your instead of doing a blood test for the marriage, you're just going to do this and know everything you can about each other?
This is how it's going to work. We're going to know any secret histories of our family past. That way, if it's like a blackmail situation, where it's a political arrangement.
Up on that microphone for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
trying to look through this Ancestry DNA kit, and I have a.
So you get this little box.
Ziploc baggie that has a piece of toilet paper in it.
So yeah, we've each got one of these. You've got a little, what it says is a collection bag, and it truly does look like it's a piece of toilet paper. And then you've got a vial that is, I don't even know. There's some sort of, you got to spit in this thing, and it's probably going to be about 5 ounces of saliva, and then there's some sort of a blue liquid. I don't know what that's for yet. Do you know? Have you read that? Do you have any idea what we're doing?
Let's see. The blue liquid is the stabilizing fluid.
Oh, okay. All right. So we started to pull this stuff out before we started the podcast, and I looked on page 2, and it said, do not eat or drink or smoke or chew gum for 30 minutes before taking your saliva sample. So we've been killing time here because we all had fresh drinks in front of us, and we've been working. But now since I've known this, I've got all this saliva in my mouth. Are you ready? All right. So we are live.
Mine is not activated yet. My account is not activated.
Dakota.
I think you can still put your saliva, and it just wants saliva. Don't hock a loogie or anything in here. It's just saliva. Don't sneeze. It says cap choking hazard. Keep out of reach of children. Wash water if liquid solution comes in contact with eyes or skin. Do not ingest the liquid. Made in Malaysia. All right, so I guess we're gonna just. I don't even know how this works. You're going to unthread the one side, you fill it up with saliva, and then you put the other stuff back in?
I guess.
What's Dakota looking for over there? He's gone to the kitchen, and he's... A pen?
Yeah.
What do you have to write down?
Because there's two people, we have to have separate activation codes.
Oh, okay.
It says right in the booklet. For your records,
Our
if you're...
booklet has it on it.
Oh, it does?
The booklet already has the activation code on it.
Okay, well, I'm going to write my name on mine.
Okay.
That's a good point. That way we don't want to mix up the samples. I need the pen too. I do not accidentally want to become a Davis. My sister's already in line to become a Davis. I don't want to. I don't want my DNA to be confused. This is already going to tell me I'm English. I can if what I think I know about myself is right. We've been
maybe you're 23% English and 77% African American.
We're all going to be shocked. So
Davis is historically a black name.
Is it?
I might be black.
There's no telling.
There is. There's no telling at all.
So we're opening this up here, and it looks like I'm going to take a picture for the for posterity. I probably shouldn't show the activation code. Does it matter? What if the world knows about my activation code? Put my thumb in front of it just in case. It could be very, very troubling to everybody if I screw that up, right?
That could be. Oh man. How are we supposed to spit in this little tiny
I don't know. You pull it out, and it's like the world's smallest urinal. And then how's this going to thread back in after once you do get enough spit?
You have
in
to
it?
take the little funnel part off and
okay.
then screw on the stabilizing fluid.
So you threw it, and then it will just go down there
and then
automatically.
You have to shake it for 5 seconds.
Okay, so I'm gonna. I'm salivating. I'm just gonna start. Here we go.
Oh, God.
If it, Audrey Joe is also engaged here. What is this the stupidest thing you've done in a while?
This is the stupidest thing.
I feel like I should be chewing tobacco or something with this. So now it's all foamy.
Yeah,
my spit foamed up.
It says, fill the tube with saliva to the black wavy line.
This may take the entire podcast for this.
It says not including the bubbles. So I'm getting there.
How full? It's. I don't know how much does it. I don't know how much this really is.
I think that I'm good. I just went ahead and spit all the way.
I don't think you have to fill the entire like from the bottom of this tube. I think it just starts much higher up.
Yeah, it is very deceiving. I think
It was very overwhelming. I'm going to tell you, it was very. When I saw this, I'm like, oh my god, I've got to get like five
I'm
liters of saliva
come
out
up
of here,
with that much spit after not drinking.
and I
for
can't
30
drink
minutes?
for 30 minutes. Yeah,
Here I can take a drink now.
I'm waiting. I don't have it in me right
My
now.
spit has food in it.
Oh, that's some poor Mormon in Utah is going to have to pull that out of there and just hate their life. I just scratched the hell out of my leg on this new table too. There's a sharp corner over here if anybody sits in the middle.
Oh man, I'm struggling. I'm really struggling.
So while we're spitting, last night we had dinner. Dakota and Audrey Joe and another member of your family, Dakota. Who'd you let me hang out with?
My mom showed up.
At the Elks Club.
Yeah.
And so your mom knew a lot of folks there. Obviously, I guess your family is a legacy there, so they've been going for ages to the Newcastle Elks.
Right, my great grandpa was an elk in Newcastle.
Maybe you'll have an ancestry leaf about that when we get once we get to the end.
Maybe I haven't started on that side of the family yet.
So we hung out down there, and this fellow at the next table over was telling us that his granddaughter was going to be at Ball State University. And your sister... What's so funny? What are we laughing at?
Did you not hear Riley?
No, I've got the headphones on.
Riley just let one go.
He farted so
He had
loud
surgery
here.
this week. He's coming off anesthesia. There's so much going on. Right, picking on my poor dog.
You would.
He's a senior citizen. Okay, he's 7. He had to go to senior dog food. It's been a week and a half since he'd been at the vet. He lost no weight at all, even on the senior food.
Okay, I'm done.
I'm losing the battle here. There's so many bubbles. I didn't know my spit was so bubbly until just this moment. So we went to.
Oh my, Audrey.
There's chunks in hers.
Audrey, did you just waste $80?
Oh god.
You just wasted $80,
No, I
mine.
didn't.
Did you have yours purchased already, or did you hurry up and go get it later? Did he
he
buy a
bought 'em at
2-pack?
the
No,
same
I bought
time.
it for her.
Yeah, you didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me she was going to be doing it. This is a very exciting
I'm worried
development.
now. Do I pour this out? Try again?
Pour it out and try it again.
What did you do? What's the
I
concern?
ate before I came here. That's the problem.
I did too, but I don't think I have any food chunks in there.
I
What
ate
does it look
the-
like?
It's just-
I need to see
Yours
this.
is so foamy.
I know that's what I'm saying. Is it's like it's
Okay,
ridiculous.
now it's not looking so bad. It's still really
Okay.
foggy.
It looks like mine's got like
What do you
a
think?
beer head on it.
Do I try it again?
Yours is really cloudy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I
You
Pour
should
it
try
out
it
and
again.
Start over.
Pour it out.
That's so we'll finish this story. Remind me to answer my sink story too. I screwed up. I've had my sink's running slow, and it's self-inflicted. I've already got enough plumbing problems over here in this neighborhood. Now I've got a sink
Yeah.
issue.
Just what the neighborhood needed.
Yes. Well, the problem is it won't leave my the kitchen sink area.
The neighborhood might have another black guy after we get these results back, too.
We don't know. We just can't be sure. So we went to the Elks Club. This fellow next to us that I guess knows you and your family starts making conversation with your mom about your sister who's going to go to Ball State.
Yeah.
And he's trying to figure out what dorm she's staying in. As it turns out, it's the same dorm his granddaughter's in, and they're trying to work it out to where they meet up and go to their roommates next year or whatever in the following year.
Right. Yeah.
So at that point, I get the idea that maybe since Kat and Agnos of the We Are Libertarians big show is a student over there, maybe she could take Chloe under her wing and they could hang out. So what innocently did you do, Dakota?
So innocently enough,
This was truly not nefarious in any way.
No, it really wasn't. In our group chat that Kat is a part of, so much more clear.
I can't believe you filled it up again.
I put my younger sister's number in there and said, "Hey, Kat, this is my sister's phone number. You should take her under your wing at Ball State because I know that she would probably like to be in a sorority." How long did it last?
10 seconds before there's a screenshot of somebody texting her?
Yeah, not just somebody.
Spangle.
It was Chris Spangle.
Dear leader.
Has texted my baby sister.
Do I just thread this on now?
Yeah, you thread the stabilizing fluid on.
Does the stabilizing fluid incorporate into it, or is it just cap it on top? So okay, I took the little neck off of it, and now I've threaded it onto here, and then you shake it, and the stabilizing fluid incorporates with the. Oh yeah, I can see it blending together.
Yeah.
And now I have to shake it for like 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Shake weight problems here.
Oh, mine has some food in it too.
Does yours have food in it?
I don't think so. It's very bubbly. I mean,
now it's not looking so clear anymore.
I think you're okay. I really do.
It's probably
Surely
fine.
they can still get.
I think they still have
from-
DNA. Yeah, I mean they can pull it off of a 400-year-old dead mummy. So I'm pretty sure they can get it.
DNA from the cow I just consumed before coming here.
I'm very parched. I needed that fluid
So
there.
you're fine. It's okay. We're all good.
I think you're good. So yeah, I've capped mine and I've shaken it, and then
How much do you have in yours?
let's not mix them up. Mine's very full.
Wow, yours is really full.
Here.
Yeah. Audrey Jo doesn't trust herself,
I don't.
so Dakota is now
Fondling my
unthreaded, and now he's threading the fluid on. And yeah, so we've got these done. We'll set that aside. I've opened my beer back up. We're ready for that when it's time. So immediately, Chris Spangle texts your sister.
Yeah. And he said, "Hi." And she said, "Who is this?" And he said, "My name is Greg Lynn."
And what happens?
She actually kept talking, and then she finds out that it was Chris Spangle.
No, you're going too far. She says, "I'm Greg Lenz." Who's Greg Lenz? I'm Dakota's real dad.
Yeah. Chris says, "I'm Dakota's real dad." And immediately I get a text.
So your actual father and your sister are at the summer home down in southern Indiana. And together. So your sister gets a text from a guy that claims to be her brother's real dad.
Sitting next to her real dad. And she immediately texts me and says, "Who is Greg Lenz?" And I said, "That's my real dad." And she texted me back and said, "What is wrong with you?"
And then
my dad texts my mother and said, "Who is Greg Lenz?" And
your mom is sitting with us.
Yeah, my mom's sitting at the table with us, and Jeremiah looks my mom dead in the eyes and says, "I'll give you $5 if you tell him." Mind you, this is the first time that Jeremiah's ever met her.
I've literally met her 10 minutes before. This is the bravery I show in life.
Yeah. He says, "I'll give you $5 if you tell her that Greg Lenz is Dakota's real dad."
I didn't realize that it was your father that they'd texted. I thought it was your sister
You
that
thought
had
it was
texted
my
your
sister.
mom. Yes.
Ah.
I did not realize that it was her husband.
Oh my gosh.
But she did it.
She did. She texted my dad and said, That is Dakota's real dad. Hilarious.
Oh my God. And then the screenshots keep showing up in chat. And Dakota, I think your sister actually was pretty smart. And she Googled Spangle's number and figured out it was him.
Yeah.
And she called him out. And yeah, so that was...
We get a screenshot that says, "Why are you texting me, Chris?"
Chris is in traffic, and he's just howling, laughing, screenshotting himself and howling, and keeps sending them back to us. It was just hilarious. It was one of the funniest things we've done in a long time, and it was totally just because the old man at the next table over wanted his daughter, his granddaughter to meet your sister.
That is what led to all of it.
So yeah, hopefully that friendship works out. I don't know if Bailey and Chris are a thing now, if they're still talking, or.
Then Chris texted my sister and said, "I'm sorry I put you through this, and if you want restitution, my sister's phone number is, 317 yada da da." So I see the screenshot and I think, this is my golden opportunity. I'm going to text her just like Chris texted my sister. So I texted her and said, "Hello. My name is Kat and Agnos. Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?" Little did I... And as soon as I sent that message, Chris puts in group chat, "I gave her Kat's number, LOL." So I just texted Kat under the pseudonym of Kat. And Kat puts a screenshot of it and says, "Which one of you flatfoots texted me?"
I was so confused at that point because I couldn't keep up with where things were. So I'm texting going, why is Bailey texting? Because it was your phone number it came from. I'm like, that's Dakota's number. I was so confused.
Yeah, and Jeremiah says 8341 is Dakota's number. I'm like, seriously? Yeah, did you just rat me out?
I doxed you, apparently. I was so confused as to who was trying to be who. It was a very bad Mission Impossible deal. All right, so I've got my Ancestry.com package ready to go. I'm going to stick it in the mail, and then I guess we'll have stuff back in the next day or two. How long is this going to take us, Audrey Jo?
6 to 8 weeks or longer.
Oh, my God. We're going to forget about this by then.
You have to have enough time to put us in the criminal database.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ancestry
when they show up with a warrant.
The police department have a deal.
So when you're logging into the website to verify your numbers or whatever, it says, "Is this for you or your child?"
My child.
And I'm thinking, well, it's going to take 2 months to know if it's my kid or not, because you don't know. You're using this as a proving DNA test, right?
Audrey, I'm seeing a reminder here in my box, and it is a reminder for you. Don't forget to activate. We need to activate my kit before we forget.
She did it, yeah. What happens if you send this in and it's not activated by the time it gets mailed in? What's the
I'll just do it
what's the penalty? What goes wrong?
They just have no idea.
They don't know whose data it is.
So they're just like, huh, this is some half-black guy. But in reality, it's me.
It's just you all along. All right, so we got the Ancestry.com thing figured out.
I like how there's no postage necessary.
Well, you've already prepaid it. It was like $80 or $90 for this thing.
Everything is just clean cut, clean packaged, very simple. And I'm going to find out that everything. I'm so excited about this.
Are you really?
Yeah. I'm pumped.
See, I logged in, I entered my information on when we were in a no spitting period for half an hour. And I logged in, and my grandfather and my father have the same first name. And somehow I entered it, and it screwed up, and I don't know if I had done it years ago when I created this thing.
Somehow Jeremiah had made it to where his grandfather and his father had been married.
Yeah, my great-grandfather and my grandfather were the same person, and it was it was very screwed up. So I have to go back in and try to figure out how that all works. But within like 10 seconds of creating the account, I had already screwed it up royally. So I may never actually know my real heritage. Audrey Jo is looking, and Dakota are looking. I don't think she may not know his password. Are you not sharing your passwords yet? Are you not that level?
He's not sharing his password with me.
And he's holding his hand over the keyboard and typing it in. He won't let her see it. This is very, very, very nerve-wracking. This could go wrong. Did it work? Do you know your own password, Dakota?
He's in.
He's in. All right. All I can see is the giant Dell laptop of Audrey Joe. I can't see anything else. We both got Dells. I've got the Dell.
Your laptop looks exactly like mine.
This is this is a corporate. It looks nothing the same. Yours is massive.
The top looks just like it.
No, not at all. Yours is nice and stainless steel, and mine is not.
This is black.
Mine's black.
It's charcoal
And
gray,
smaller.
but it's still got the same idea.
I guess.
Audrey, do not degrade your laptop.
Hers is much nicer than mine is. Mine is old and tired. So, anyway, what's your laptop like, Dakota? Do you have a laptop?
Not really. It's a laptop I've had since I was 17.
Yeah. I think I've only had like 3 in my life.
Yeah, this one's 5 years old. Once I started at WGU, I'm getting a totally new one.
Western Governors University.
Yep.
And you're going to study business management? Is that the deal?
That's correct.
All right. Very exciting. Very exciting.
I guess you could call it that.
That's the degree I have. Look up there. I've got a couple of them hanging that, you know.
Business Administration from Ivy Tech Community College.
And then there's one from Indiana Wesleyan up there, too.
Yep.
I think that's Bachelor of Science in Management. I don't know. They're getting old. One's from 06 and one's from 08. So,
Woo.
Yeah, they're getting older.
Man, I was 10.
Oh, my God. Really?
I was 10 years old when you graduated college in 2006.
The first time, yeah. You were 5 when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
2001. Yeah. Here we are again, making me feel old.
Man.
Whatever.
Wow. That's incredible.
You're
Whenever you were graduating high school, there was a 5-year-old kid running around eating his boogers that you would be hanging out with one day.
Yep. And there's probably a kid that's eating his boogers now that I'll hang out with one day.
Yep, that's true.
I don't care. I'd rather hang out with young people than old people. Well, some old people are fine, but I'd rather think younger anyway. Generally, that's the way I am, or typically I've been.
I really don't have very many friends my own age.
Do you have many
even
friends?
when I was in
Do you have
high
many
school.
friends, Dakota?
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
It's a hostage situation.
Yeah.
There's 4 guys in your wedding,
Yeah.
3.
counting yourself.
Yes.
Well, there's...
Well, yeah, okay.
Okay.
So you've got one guy that's in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You've got one guy in Florida,
Yep.
one in Alabama,
Yep.
and me.
That is correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the issue there?
I'm just saying, you
The one's
really
not
keep them
coming
at a
though,
distance.
right?
He's gonna have me.
don't know yet.
He's gonna have me like exiled to New Mexico
How
or
do you
something.
not know yet?
I'm more concerned that none of my groomsmen have ordered their
Did you?
tuxes
Oh, that was
yet.
that was the thing we talked about last
Oh,
night.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
What kind of tape do we need to measure me?
You can do it with some string and a tape measure.
You should probably go somewhere.
You really probably should go somewhere. Just go to a Moment in Time bridal in Newcastle.
Will you go with me?
I'll go with you.
All right.
I'll even go.
I won't go alone. I went alone the last time. The last time I was a best man in somebody's wedding, and I went down there and got all my stuff. But how much is it going to cost me to get measured for nothing? For them not to do that? Will they do it?
I don't know.
If they won't, we'll go to my grandma's house.
Yeah.
And then you can find out her real birth date
She
for your
was born
form.
in Stearns, Kentucky.
Yeah. Funny, last night we also learned that Audrey Joe and I were related for like 4 years once by marriage.
About 1,000 days.
About 1,000 days.
We're not anymore. That's okay. Maybe we will again. Who knows?
Well, if your sister marries a Davis,
That's true. That's very possible, actually.
then you could be related to me.
I don't know
and
if you're
therefore related
kin.
to Audrey.
I don't know if you Davises are all the same or not. I'm pretty sure they have Kentucky roots, and you do too. So
Tennessee.
yeah, that's all the same. Kentucky or Tennessee are very similar.
They're really not.
They're quite.
You ever hear Kentucky bluegrass music in Tennessee? No. Because it's Tennessee.
It's all the
bluegrass
SEC. It's all
music.
football teams that think they're better than they are. That's the Southeastern Conference.
I'm still concerned with the extra groomsmen.
What's to be
That's
concerned
very
about?
troubling. 'Cause
I haven't talked to him.
I only have 3 bridesmaids. And if you show up with 4 groomsmen, one of them has to go home.
I don't know what to say to him.
Oh God, this is not where the podcast is supposed to go tonight.
You still have him in chat though.
Yeah, he's in the Facebook group, but he has never replied to anything.
He's been very quiet.
You can see that he sees everything, but he's never replied. And that's where we asked for email addresses. That's where we've made plans for the bachelor party.
If you have advice for Dakota's problem of having more friends than he really wants, message Boss Hog of Liberty on Facebook and tell him how he should handle this situation.
Delicately.
Very, very carefully. He's probably a podcast listener, and he's just laughing his ass off at the trouble he's getting into now because she's giving you the stare.
Probably.
Audrey, can you just make another friend?
No.
We can have Sarah stand, and then we can take credit for everything that happens in their lives from that point. Tell all their children, yeah, it was because of us.
Yeah, we put them in our wedding.
All the dresses are already ordered. Sorry. The ship has sailed.
Oh.
It's all settled. All right. Well, anyway, we'll work that one out. We've got a little bit of time. I just got my save the date the other day, so
Everyone that gets their save the date seems to think that it's an invitation, but if it was an invitation, they'd have no idea where the wedding was.
I know where the wedding is. I stopped by the venue this afternoon.
You're in the wedding now.
You stopped by the venue?
I did. I slid by.
Everyone
I was hunting a Pokemon.
Oh my gosh.
In Spiceland.
You've already been there before, though.
This will be my second time on the up there for a wedding.
David Brock.
That's right.
How did the first one turn out?
It was a great day. I had fun.
The marriage itself.
There's actually two co-pastors.
We're getting married by 3 people.
3.
Is there going to be enough room for all of these people?
3.
Your 4 groomsmen, her 3 bridesmaids, and your 3 pastors, plus the 2 of you?
We're going to have David Brock, and then...
Don't say Greg.
What's her name?
Kathy
Harris, and Greg Lynn.
And
no, I knew you were...
Why can't Greg be there? You're letting him come to the... You've already consented today that he can come to the reception.
Only the reception.
Can we sneak him in?
The reception and the ceremony are in 2 different places.
Okay, so what if Greg just hangs out in the basement with us before? Can he do that? And then he just won't take we'll let him up the stairs that are back behind we'll take that stairway up, and he can just hang out back there.
I know he'll try to make an appearance.
We'll just let him hide back there during the ceremony.
Yeah, I don't think he would do that.
Just a little peekaboo is all it would be, if anything.
Yeah. If anything, it would just be him standing up in the back and going... and waving and smiling really big.
No.
You're still saying no.
He can come before.
Dakota wants one thing out of this. That's all he's asking for. I've heard him be very, very friendly.
He has to leave, though, right after.
He's going to the reception.
Yeah. So as soon as you're done getting ready, he has to leave.
You know he's going to make a toast at the reception.
That's
in
fine.
front of all of our friends and family.
That's
about
fine.
how he really was distrusting of you and didn't think that you were good enough for his favorite son. And now that we're married, he couldn't be happier. And he's going to have this big, long sob story. And nobody is going to know what he's talking about except for us.
I don't care about that. That's okay.
That part's fine.
I don't want him at the ceremony. I'm sorry.
Dakota, I think you're getting the winning end of that. The ceremony is, whatever. The party is later. I think you're going to like that more anyway.
Yeah.
A win-win for you.
That's true.
We'll let your real dad come to the...
Yeah.
Come to the other.
If he doesn't do something like that, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Have you gotten him committed? Is he gonna show up? Is he having?
I don't know. The only thing I've heard from him, I asked him if he would be at the reception. He just said sure.
Wow. Wow. All right.
That's harsh.
That's not. Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to do a sales job. We'll pin him down next week on the big We Are Libertarian show.
Yeah, we will. Audrey, are you gonna come?
You make an appearance tomorrow night, or next week? Not tomorrow night. Gosh.
I don't know about that.
Next Thursday.
I don't know about that.
Why?
We're gonna work on her.
It'll probably be. We'll get up there at like 7:00.
I'll have my new Tahoe. I'll have room for everybody. I can seat 7 in the new ride.
It'll take about 3 hours.
Only if there's food. I better get food.
We'll
I'm not
get
eating
food.
before.
We'll get Steak and Shake or something.
Good.
Food will be provided.
Okay.
I've
I'll think
heard
about it
Dear
then.
Leader provides, so it'll be fine. You'll enjoy
I
it.
don't even want to know.
It'll be great.
We'll be on camera for that one though.
It is. It's live on the YouTube and on
Ooh,
Facebook.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like 10,000 people watching and listening.
Judging you silently. Or just typing
No,
in the
not
comments.
silently. They type.
She has something in her teeth.
I always have something in my teeth.
All right, so that's next week's deal. As far as content goes, there's one thing that kind of stuck with me this week, Dakota, and it's the story out of Georgia. We Are Libertarians on the previous episode. I don't know what they're on, 219 or something, or 220. They're talking about civil asset forfeiture, and there was a story just this week out of Georgia where a guy is traveling down the road. He's paying no attention to me at all. I cannot
I am
believe.
paying attention.
Believe
I
me,
can't.
we
I just
had this
can't believe
conversation on
him.
the way here. Truly, we did.
Just because I'm on my phone doesn't mean I'm not listening.
He's not listening. He doesn't look you in the eye. It's very
No,
sad.
He really doesn't listen.
And when you look him in the face now, he looks like he's 15 years old because he lost. I can't take him seriously. Anyway, so the story out of Georgia, $36,000 in the car. This guy has it stored in his speakers. He doesn't know, so a policeman pulls him over. He gets stopped. They bring in a drug dog. The drug dog goes off, and they don't find any drugs in the car.
How do drug dogs go off? Woo, woo, woo.
I don't know. Maybe they're
Drugs
like
in the
Riley and they
vehicle.
just fart. I don't know. They just get extra farty. So this guy doesn't get arrested. They take his money, $36,000, and they're holding it for civil asset forfeiture, and they let
Right.
the guy go.
But correct me if I'm wrong. He can sue and have his money back, right?
Sure, he has to prove his money innocent.
Right. He has to prove that he made his money legally. Which, if he has a legitimate job, it wouldn't be difficult to prove that, giving his paycheck stubs over.
Perhaps.
I mean, even
I
if
guess.
he's only made $36,000 this year, there is no proof otherwise that he has spent his money on other things.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous that it becomes his burden to do that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, I'm just clarifying. There's people out there who probably think that this guy's money is gone for forever.
Yeah. I shared the story and I said what amount of money is considered criminal to carry? What's too much?
Right.
If I have $500 on me, is that going to get confiscated because it's too much money? Is it $1,000? Is it $1,500? Is it $10,000? What's the number that all of a sudden now I have a problem?
Yeah,
where they can just decide that
I think
it's
there
theirs.
was a guy. It was a case a few years ago too. A man was going down to Florida, I think it was, and he had $22,000 with him. He was going to buy a truck.
Yeah.
And it was seized as well. And he had to go to court and prove, this is the truck I was going to buy, this is the person I was going to buy it from. They had to testify. It was a whole big deal just because he had cash on his person. That they said the government says there's no real reason a person should have that much money on them. It's just like whenever you start getting into higher tax brackets, there's no reason you need that much money. We'll take some of it for you. You don't need that much money in your paycheck.
It's too much income. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't trust you with that.
Yeah, it's there. We talked about it last week. You work with some people that are in the union that don't have any bank accounts. So if they're saving money, they have the cash. They're just holding on to it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not depositing it. So if they're saving if they're going to go buy a $40,000 Tahoe, they've got the cash and they're going to take it with them.
Yeah.
There's
exactly.
you don't know that guy wasn't going to go buy a house, buy land, buy a gun. It's his money. He can do whatever he wants with it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that.
It's just crazy. It's really infuriating. Hopefully, it's a story that gets people's attention.
I think it did. I saw it shared quite a few times.
Yeah. Well, and here in Henry County, we've got the PACE team, which they're the highway enforcement that's looking for drugs.
There's so much fraud that goes on within the PACE team.
Well, I'm not here to cast stones on it, but I do
I will
laugh.
cast stones.
I do laugh at some of the because there's a lot of those guys are friends of mine, and I'm that part. It's sincere, but I do laugh at some of the stops they make and the posts that they have where they'll pull over somebody that had whatever amount of marijuana in the car
Look
in
at
the
this
vehicle.
scumbag we got off the streets. He had 2 ounces of weed on
And
this
the
person.
guy's a tourist going from Oklahoma to Massachusetts, two completely legal states, and we pick him up over here.
Yeah,
because he happened to
had
pass
a
through
plant
Henry
in his
County.
car. Glad we got him off.
So and the this one this week, apparently, there was some heroin and there was methamphetamines, which, yeah, okay, fine. But there was also a small amount of marijuana, and there was like $950 in cash. And the sheriff's department made their own infographic out of the top of a banker's box and wrote down everything that was on it in true Henry County fashion, lays this all out, takes the money and folds it up with one single $100 bill on the outside to make it look like this fat stack of cash.
Yep.
And it says $995 or $895.
Yeah. Which in reality, if they had all been 100s,
right,
it would have been like $10,000 or something ridiculous. You don't realize it's super weird how little, like, you see all the action movies with the briefcase. And
right.
They're like, this is $50,000. And then you get, like, all of a sudden you have the opportunity and you have like $20,000 cash. And it's just like,
have you had $20,000 cash in your hand?
I have, yeah. I really have.
Was it yours when you were buying your house?
Yeah. I actually took the cash because I was young. I was 18 years old, and I thought paying cash for a house meant I had to have the cash on my person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize I had to have...
I'm sure the people over at Mariana loved you, or wherever you were, to pick that up.
Yeah, I was at Star, and it was a whole process.
You called them up. And did you call, or did you just show up and be like, I want $18,000?
I just showed up. I said, I was like, showed them all the purchase statement and everything. And
why did you show them that? You could have just withdrawn the money anyway, right?
I could have, but I didn't know that.
Right.
And she's like, you're going to have to fill out some paperwork. So this whole drawn out process. I was like, man, this is really stupid that I have to sign these papers just because they have to. I mean, she doesn't have just $20,000 cash sitting in her drawer,
right,
ready to hand over to me. And I got the cash, and then I went up to the Bethany home. No, I can't remember the name of the real estate company that I bought the house from. But anyway, they were up in Muncie. And I go up there.
So you drove to Muncie with $20,000 in cash on you?
Yeah, $20,000 in cash.
If you'd been pulled over, they could have taken the money and thought you were up there for a deal.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I drive up there, and the lady asked me if I had a cashier's check, and I said no, I just have cash. She looked at me really confused, and I just pulled out an envelope that had $20,000 in it, and she went, "Oh. Well, we can make that work, too." So,
all right, sir.
Yep. And then it was... I don't know if you've ever bought a house, like, with cash.
No, I never have.
But it is so fast. Like, you just sign your name, like, twice.
Yeah.
You sign your name 2 times. They take the money, and then you just walk out of there, and you're like, oh, my God. I just gave away $20,000.
You have a house. Yeah, well, that's impressive, man. Honestly, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've bought this house 3 times now. I bought it once and then I refinanced it twice. First time was an FHA mortgage, which had a lot of paperwork. It took months, and then the second 2 times were conventional refis, and they weren't quite as bad, but they did take 20 minutes to fill out all the paperwork.
Yeah, I told my boss I left at lunch.
Yeah,
and I said, hey, I'm going to go sign papers to get my house. He's like, okay. He said, so you'll be gone the rest of the day? I'm like, probably. It took me like 10 minutes. And it was right down the road from where I worked. And I was like, do I go back? I'm going to go get my new house.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's when you take the rest of the day off. Of course, that time you weren't old enough to go drink, or at least, you weren't old enough to go to the bar and drink. So you had to go do something else.
I was literally 18 years old. And was driving around.
Did you spend money on nothing, basically? You just piled up cash, lived at home, and then bought that?
I started working when I was 14. It's a true Ron Swanson story.
Right. You were running the floor by the 3rd week on the job.
I was working at the Henry County Municipal Airport, and I started mowing yards at the same time. And then I ended up working full-time for a company called Olive Leaf Landscaping. And
you were doing the work of Dylan Mofield and the Mexicans, basically.
Yeah,
I think Dylan, one of my 4-H kids. You know Dylan?
Probably.
He's a Tri-High kid. He mows the grass over there now. He's got your old job, yeah.
Huh, cool.
He was one of my kids on the 4-H completion trip that your sister refused to take with me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't drive or anything yet, obviously. So my dad would take me to work, and he would pick me up from work. And I got paid $10 an hour cash under the table. And he would take my paychecks at the end of every week, and he'd put them in a savings account and wouldn't let me touch the money or spend it on anything, which I hated him for it.
Sure.
I was so angry. And he would give me... And then I finally got a car, which he made me pay for half of the car.
What was the car?
It was a 1989 Z24 Chevy Cavalier.
Well, your first car was older than my first car was for me.
It was a cherry red with black racing stripes convertible. And it was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah,
was
until
a
my
sweet
dad
car.
backed over it.
Yeah. And then I parked behind her dad in their driveway one day, and he backed his truck over top of the hood.
Oops.
Yeah.
New racing stripes.
And it's not like he just bumped it. He literally
got it
went
good.
the entire length of the hood before he realized, hey, why isn't the truck going any farther?
I think he was probably sending you a message. I hope you learned your lesson about what he can do to your car compared to what he can do if you're the guy did to his
I learned
daughter.
the lesson. He still ended up paying for it.
Yeah, so your first car, we're 13 years apart,
Yeah,
is that right?
technically that wasn't my first car. My first car was a 2010, 2013, something like that.
That was your parents' car, though, something you
It
drove.
was a Chevy Cobalt.
Right.
And my dad had bought it to give me because they were having really good deals on them or something. And he was going to drive it for the time being. And I'd had my permit for like 5 months. So I'd been driving it. But right before I actually got my license, my parents went out one weekend. And they came home, and they were in a brand new Chevy Malibu.
They traded your car in?
They had traded my car in for my mom's car.
That's the way it goes.
And then my dad said, well, we'll pick you out a new one, but we'll have a budget of about $5,000 because I need you to pay half of it. It was like, really?
Total bait and switch, but
Yeah.
you're 16. What are you going to do about it, kid?
Yeah, right.
Greg Lenz would have never treated you that way.
No, he wouldn't have. We went out and found the Cavalier. It was a sweet car. I loved that car.
So you had an 89 Cavalier. So my first vehicle was a 1987 Pontiac Bonneville. Had air conditioning, automatic transmission. First year they made a fuel-injected Bonneville. So I was pretty darn happy with that at 16 years old. And I had to pay for it myself. It was $500. Came with a bent rim, so I had to go down to GW Pierce and buy a new rim for the car and get it put on. And then I think I immediately spent like $1,000 to get the air conditioning fixed in the car, which lasted like 3 days. I was not very wise financially at the time. And then I think I drove for about 2 years until the transmission crapped out completely. About halfway into it, it was starting to go bad, so I didn't have overdrive, so I would drive the thing between Newcastle and Muncie. I was working the same place I do now, but I would drive that route at about 4,500 RPMs because the thing wouldn't shift.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
My truck has started to make a mysterious ticking noise whenever I accelerate.
Does it? See, a lot of Chevys do that.
The
tick. Yeah, it's usually when it's colder though. First started, yeah. That's just typical for a Chevy.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Oh
But
my
if you're
God,
nervous,
we're about
we
to
could-
get
No.
If you're nervous, you can sell that thing, and I will make you a heck of a deal on a GMC Sierra.
How much will you sell it to me for?
I don't know. What do you think's fair?
I don't know.
I'd probably do.
What if I gave you whatever I got out of my truck?
No.
Straight up.
No.
We'll trade pinks.
No, we are not trading slips for vehicles.
I bet that I can.
I'll give you a very reasonable number though. I
bet
will.
I could get 35 out of my truck. You're gonna go that
You
low?
get that and put $2,000 on it. We'll probably have a deal. I'd do 55 for you.
Do you 55?
I'd do 55
About
for you.
5. I paid 5 for the Chevy Cavalier. I think you can do 5 for the truck.
I don't think so. We'll talk. But I think 55 is a hell of a deal. We'll see.
Man, Riley.
It's getting bad. All right. Is there anything else we have to cover? Are we good?
I don't think so. I think that,
All right.
we
this
went
is
through-
ridiculously efficient for us.
Yeah, we had everything planned out, and then like 20 minutes in, we had already covered everything.
Well, you've got big things to do tomorrow, so you're in a hurry.
I have to get up a little bit before 4.
Yeah. All right. Well,
3:50.
So we've got all kinds of exciting activities planned between the two groups of us here. We trying to schedule things to create content, I guess, or just to annoy Audrey Joe. I don't know. But
working.
we're going to go to the state fair. We got the state fair coming up here in a couple weeks. We're going to do a triple date, you and me and our friend Aaron and his lovely lady friend. They're gonna hang out with us at the state fair in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Got another wall Christmas party coming up, so that's going to be fun. We're all
Not
planning.
Christmas, it's Christmas.
Oh,
in
is it
August.
Christmas? They're all Christmas. It's always like Christmas to me. I guess
We
it's
need
a
to
pool
put
party.
up. We should put up your Christmas tree.
You want to put that up?
Yeah, for the next one. No, wait. I thought we were going to put up the Jeremiah Morrill for state representative.
Oh, that's right. We
On
are.
the roof.
So from when I ran in 2012, I don't think we've talked about this on the podcast, but
We
we
haven't?
No, we will do this. I have the billboard, leftover billboard piece from when I ran for state rep, so we could put it on the roof of the house. We're going to do that. We'll
I
get
have
some milk
seen-
jugs and we're going to stretch it out, and we'll put it on the roof and just see what kind of reaction we get.
And if anybody was at the last pool party that saw the events that transpired, you don't have to worry. I've taken care of it. I blocked said person from the Facebook group. It won't be happening again.
Yeah, I wish you luck.
It's just like Allstate. You're in good hands.
You're in good hands, Dakota Davis.
gosh.
Oh, man. All right. Well, with that, follow us. You know how to follow us. We appreciate the subscribers, the feedback. Like us and subscribe. Like the Facebook page. We're Libertarians. Obviously provides the hosting space for us. We're excited about that. We're going to be at the big show, so I think you'll probably have a simultaneous cast. The next feed you'll have will be we'll be in the big one. We expect lots and lots of folks to be coming back to listen to this episode. Normally we have a little bit more politics in this, but man, the Ancestry purity test that Dakota talked me into, we thought we were going to do that, and I wasn't sure what to expect. And we're going to totally forget about these results. By the time this comes back in 2 months,
I hope so.
you might be married. Are you going to be married when we get these, or are you going to get these
No.
back just in time?
We'll get these back just in time.
Yeah.
For Audrey to change your mind.
And you're getting re-engaged this weekend, right? Is that the way this works? You've been together, or you've been engaged for a year, so now you have to re-up.
Yeah.
You have to give her a bigger ring or something this
Bigger,
weekend.
better ring.
Yeah.
No, we've been
Yeah.
together for 5 years.
Really?
Yes,
Man,
Correct.
that's
5
what
whole
it is.
years. But then the engagement is like next week.
Yeah, I'm not even counting that one. It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't count.
No.
So you count the dating more than you do the
Well,
engagement.
only because it's 5 years.
That's a big number. Is the clock resetting, or are you gonna be like, well, we were together for 5 years before we got married?
No,
No, we're just
the
gonna
clock's
say-
resetting.
No, well, yeah, we'll just be like, oh, I don't know.
We're not going to be those
Depends on the
people
match.
that are like,
We have.
well, we've been married 1 year, but really we've been together for 6.
Do you count any little breakups you had along the way, Dakota?
Oh, we never really had
We
any.
didn't really have
No,
any.
really?
No.
Congratulations on that. That's a big thing. I guess Sarah and I haven't either. It's been, yeah. I sure as hell hope there aren't any. Not anticipating any. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. But you guys are so darn young that at when you started dating her when she was 14 years old, it
I
just
was not 14.
Her dad gave me permission.
Mr. Peavy, can I please take her to the Spiceland family restaurant? Shady
I
Stevens.
don't even
is-
remember where we went for our first date.
It was Pizza King.
Oh, yeah.
It was the
was a
Spiceland
du-
family restaurant.
No,
though.
no.
It was
It was a
Pizza
real
King in
Pizza
Newcastle.
King.
Really? You
It
get a
was
drive?
double
Did you get a
date,
drive?
though. It was a
Yeah, it
double
was a
date.
double date. Yep.
Where
I
did we
drove.
go for our
Who'd you
first
double
date?
date with?
My
One
friend
of-
Chase.
There
One
you
of the
go.
groomsmen.
Yeah. We won't divulge into his
We
story.
don't,
his
we, don't
part
need,
of the
we
story.
don't need to get into that.
Yeah.
No. All right. Well, good deal. Well, we thank everybody for listening. And was it Chase or Trevor that had requested that we do a podcast down in your bachelor party, which
was
I've said
Trevor.
is an absolutely horrible idea.
Trevor likes to listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Trevor's a podcast guy.
You really are not doing a good job of talking to the microphone. For 16
Well,
episodes
I thought that
in,
we were done. I thought that we were finished.
well, we are done, I guess. It's
So,
about over.
I was about to get up and walk away.
All right. Do we have a tagline? My mother took real offense to the cocaine tagline we came up with last time.
Surely did.
She did. She was very upset.
I can't believe that Joyce doesn't listen to my type of music.
I think she likes music just fine. She just doesn't like the connotation. I don't know.
That song was literally one of my favorite songs.
I love it. Yeah, it's a great song. But
then you put the Johnny Cash.
I like Cocaine Blues too.
I'm just never been a big Johnny Cash fan, except for like Boy Named Sue, because that song is funny.
they're all good to me. I'm good with either or. But I like Clapton just fine too.
Yep. I love
I like
Clapton.
Cream. I like Clapton. They're both work for me. So anyway, we appreciate everybody listening, and we will see you on the big show on the next episode.
That's
episode
right.
17 will be co-branded with the Big We Are Libertarians.
Can't wait.
We'll see y'all next time.
The first time on my show.
Audrey, Joe, you got any more final thoughts?
Vaccinate your children.